Hello CBM Junkies, Chad Miller here with Comic Book Movie Reports. In this episode, we are going to discuss gays in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So far, romance hasn't been a big major selling point in the MCU, and so why would you want to bring in gay characters if they can't be romantically involved with another character? Well, it's not just all about that. In this episode, we're going to discuss the characters that are possible to be gay characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, what that could mean, and whether or not we can actually really expect this or not. So far, as I've mentioned, romance hasn't been a huge topic for the MCU. In fact, there really isn't a strong romantic couple in the entire MCU. If you think about it honestly, Tony Stark and Pepper Potts were the Marvel Cinematic Universe's first power couple, and they are no longer together. Captain America and Peggy Carter had a nice little fling before he was put on ice, and even though he came back later, she was much older, and then, yeah, she died. The romance between Thor and Jane Foster simply has disappeared. The long-forgotten romance between Bruce Banner and Betty Ross has just simply been forgotten. And they touched upon a slight little romance between Black Widow and Bruce Banner / Hulk, and he left, and it really hasn't been talked about since. Captain America and Agent 13 are currently in the thralls of developing a romance, but we'll see how that plays out. And they're certainly hinting at a little bit of a possible romance between Wanda Maximoff and Vision, the android, a little creepy. There's certainly the budding romance between Star-Lord and Gamora, which I'm sure will be hinted on in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Who knows whether Doctor Strange and Christine will continue their relationship or not, that remains to be seen. So it seems that Hawkeye is the only one with a stable relationship going on in the MCU. So this is a bit of a controversial topic right here, but there's been many talks out in the interwebs about a romance between Captain America and Bucky. Now, I personally think that this is just an absolute bromance. These two were best friends for a very long time. There are several people out there that are insisting that these two are going to end up being lovers. I personally do not think so. I think it would be a great touch, but I just don't think it's even remotely possible. According to some reports, Kevin Feige has been asked about whether an LGBTQ character or characters would be introduced in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His reply was pretty ambiguous, obviously stating that it would be wonderful for that to happen, but really didn't say anything much about whether it was going to be in actuality. And looking at the characters that are even possible to be included in the MCU for this purpose, the list is actually pretty narrow. While there are quite a bit of LGBTQ characters in the Marvel Universe, there are only very few limited characters that are available for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. A lot of the LGBTQ characters that are featured in the Marvel Universe actually have ties to the X-Men, which means that Fox would have the rights to use those characters if they so saw fit. The 4 characters that I've been able to procure out of this list are a bit of a far stretch. Not necessarily after the Infinity War, because a lot more of the space aspect of the MCU will come to light, so maybe after the events of the Infinity War, we could see a possibility of these characters being brought into the MCU. The characters thus far are Carolina Dean, Zaven, Wiccan, and Hulkling. If any of you are comic book fans, you know whom I am speaking of, and if you are not, there's plenty of research for you to do. Certainly, the MCU could take a well-established character and make them LGBTQ, which is not out of the realm of possibility. It certainly could anger quite a few people out there, but why not? So with romance really not being on one of the front burners of the MCU, even if an LGBTQ character was introduced, which would be a delight, we probably wouldn't see much of a romance between them and another character, because romance is just not one of the main focuses of the MCU. However, it would be great to see an LGBTQ character featured in the MCU, because there are so many LGBTQ comic book fans that are out there. It's astounding how many of us are out there. So, CBM Junkies, weigh in with your thoughts down in the comments below. Definitely share this with your friends. Subscribe to the Redd N Slymm Productions YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook. And as I said, if you have any thoughts, tell us down below. We love interacting with you. And if you think of any characters that are a possibility for the MCU as far as LGBTQ characters, and maybe I've forgotten them, tell me about it. I would love to hear some of the other characters that I might have glossed over. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Comic Book Movie Report, and as always, love and light to you all.